Opie's Beard Co. The Sit Down Series.
Right, we are live, and I'm here with Blake Meyer. Hello, Blake. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good, man. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
This is the first of the sit down series that we're doing for YouTube, and it's basically talking to members of the beard community about obviously their lives and their work in the bearding community, what they think about the bearding community, and many other things. So, Blake, I just want to ask you firstly, when did you start growing your beard?
So I first started growing, well, this version of the beard when I retired out of the U.S. Air Force. So I retired at the end of 2011. So I started growing it out then. I shaved it off a couple times, or I shaved it down.
Yeah.
So the background on that is in the U.S. military, you can't have any facial hair other than a mustache, and it can't go past that ear. So I was cleanly shaven for 20 years,
Wow.
and I hated to shave. So
Yeah.
I didn't have any great desire to grow a beard. I literally grew my beard out of laziness, and then it kind of just took on a life of its own. It grew pretty fast. I did a couple charity shavings. One included shaving all my hair off as well. And then in about 2014, 15, I just quit shaving. So this is a 5, 6 year, a few trims here and there, and I think it's down to about 12 inches now, and you can see it's pretty wispy at the ends, but it works for me.
Yeah, it's a great time to grow a beard at the moment, isn't it? Most people being on lockdown, they don't really too fussed.
Yeah.
In terms of the military stuff, has that changed now in the US with the growing of the beard stuff?
No,
Still the same.
you will see some of the special forces guys will grow beards, and that's just so that they can blend in with whatever communities that they're working in.
Yeah.
That's not really a rule of anything, but I think you'll see some guys now with some facial hair.
Yeah, I know they've just actually changed it for the UK military. They are actually allowed to have beards now as long as they're well kept and short.
Yeah.
The only downside is they're only letting guys grow them out of work time, and as you well know, to get a decent sized beard that's past the stubble stage, you're talking 6 weeks to 2 months to 3 months. So nobody has that sort of time off, do they? So it's a sort of catch-22 situation, isn't it, for them now? But they have had the green light over here now for that sort of stuff. So it's it's something they can do as long as they can miracle grow their beards. They're fine. So so you've been into the bearding scene now for about 6 years. And what sort of times did you start getting to the competitions and the beard meets and stuff?
So back in 2014, I saw an ad, or maybe it was on Facebook, for a Yorkshire Beard Day in Scarborough.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anybody in the bearding community. I didn't know that bearding groups existed. I didn't even know that products existed at that time. I just know that I had a beard, and there was a beard competition, and it was in Scarborough, not too far away from where we were living at the time. So I grabbed my two boys, and we went over for on the Saturday. I was the first person to arrive. The first two people that walked into the room after me were Mick Wallach, and Michael Legge at the time, who was the British champion for over 12, and
oh wow.
And Michael's since shaved his beard off, but those were the first two people that I met in the bearding community, and and my beard wasn't anywhere close to the length that it is now. Back then, it was a little bit intimidating. We stayed there for the day, kind of got to know some people, but then when I left, I kind of didn't do anything for another couple years.
Wow. Okay.
Then about 2 years ago, I saw again on Facebook the Yorkshire Beardsmen, and so I reached out to those guys. They were having a meet. They were actually having a meet up in Leeds, and I never did make it to that one, but I made it to one eventually in York and met up with those guys again. Didn't know anybody. I just showed up at a pub, and I walk in a room, and there's 25 other bearded guys, and And from that moment on, I mean, they just welcomed me in.
Yeah.
And then from there, it just, once I became part of that community, and then hearing about beard competitions and finding beard groups on Facebook, I just started going. And just a great camaraderie with the people there. And for me, it's not, when I first went, I really didn't know what they were about, if it was really competitive.
Yeah.
And there are some people that take it very competitive.
Oh God, yeah.
But I really liked it just for the social aspect.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've made friends with people that I would not necessarily be friends with them in any, but I may not have the opportunity to be friends with those people. And so I've made some great friends just from the bearding community.
Yeah. Well, that must have been kind of crazy walking into a room with those two to start you off.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Michael Wallage now is a world champion, isn't he? Was he rocking the chops back then, or did he have?
He was.
He was still doing the chops, was he?
Yeah, he had the chops and the whole John Bull thing going on. And
were they mini chops back then, or were they still the same as they are now?
They're pretty decent chops. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still pretty decent. And I've never really seen a beard like his before.
No.
It's quite impressive.
Yeah, it is impressive. Yeah, it's a huge beard just with the middle shaved, and it's like, wow, okay. I wonder if it gets to a stage when you've got a huge beard and then you think, you know what, I'm going to get rid of the middle bit. See how that goes.
I've had a couple times when mine started to fork down the middle, and I'm like, man, if I just shave that little bit off right there, I could give Mick a run for his money. But, no, I could not.
Yeah, I keep thinking about when I get a bit older, I'm going to do it, but this is the strongest part of my beard. So if I shave it off, it'd kind of be like cutting off a good leg. So it kind of seems a bit pointless for me to try that. So especially when you're competing against like the likes of Mick Wallage, I mean, that thing's nothing short of amazing. Yeah. So obviously we know you're a big part of the beard community on Facebook as well. You're part of many groups, and you're even part of iBeard Club, and you were honoured with their Book of Beards.
I was, yeah.
You're entered into the Book of Beards. So just tell everybody who's not part of the Facebook community what that actually is and what it means.
iBeard Club has come up with this kind of honor roll of beards. It's not even all beards. We obviously have some women in there as well. It's just, and I think it's less about the beard and more about the person and their involvement in the community. So it was a very humbling and honoring thing to be entered in there. I was actually down south at the Southwest beard competition.
Yeah. And
we were out on the Friday night before the competition, sitting in a pub, and all of a sudden I started getting notifications on my phone, and hey, congratulations, and I didn't know what was going on, and found out that they put me into the Book of Beards, and very humbling experience. Lee BMG, the guy that runs iBeard Club, again, just kind of recognized me because I was very active in the club. I do a lot of charity work. There's probably a little bit of the aspect that I'm the token American in the British beard scene. I'm sure that has something to do with it.
Yeah, I thought that was a Liverpudlian accent.
Yeah. a little bit further west than Liverpool.
Yeah. No, I think it's a lot further east, isn't it? Yeah. So onto your charity work then. A lot of people probably won't know that you are also, come wintertime, you actually take on the role of Santa Blake as well.
I do. I am a charity Santa Claus. So there you go. Put my hat on for this part.
Awesome.
So yes, a lot of people will know me as Santa Blake. About 4 years ago, funnily enough, it actually started on a pub crawl. It's a long story, but I won't go into the story.
A lot of things start on a pub crawl.
It was a Christmas jumper pub crawl.
Yeah.
And so I just decided to, be a little cheeky, and instead of wearing a Christmas jumper, I bought a $25 Santa suit off of Amazon and showed up to a pub crawl in York. And it was mental. It was the most surreal night of my entire life. And I did not I look back at pictures of that, and I don't look anything like I do now. So people were really receptive to it, and the group of friends I was with said, "Man, Blake, you should do this, as a thing." And so I kind of, okay, and then some other people heard about it and asked me over to a gathering they had, and they were the same way. They're like, "Oh, you need to do this."
Yeah.
So the next year rolled around, and I said, "Okay, well, I'll give it a try." So I bought a little bit more expensive suit.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you still rock the one from Amazon, or is that had an upgrade since then?
A little bit of an upgrade. And I made myself a Facebook page, and I thought, maybe some of my friends will want me to come and take pictures with their kids, and something like that. And within weeks, I had, I think, 30 bookings.
Yeah. Wow.
And from that first year, and then every year since then, it's just increased. And it is, I tell people that besides raising a family, and I'm very proud that, that I've raised a family, it's the most rewarding, satisfying thing that I've ever done. It's just an amazing experience. I could literally sit here and talk to you about it for hours, and tell you stories that would make you laugh and probably make you cry.
Yeah.
It's just an amazing experience. And what I like best is that I do everything for charity. There's not a penny that goes in my pocket. I do a lot of work for the Yorkshire Children's Trust, but if it's a school or scouts or a church group or any nonprofits, we do it for free. A couple home visits, and I said I don't charge anything. And if people would like to donate to charity, and most people do, at least a small amount, then that's really all that I'm looking for. A little bit towards charity, putting some smiles on some people's faces. It gives me something to do in November and December every year.
Yeah, excellent. And you've got a Just Giving page, haven't you, for Santa Blake as well?
I do. Yep, there. Yeah. So if you guys search on Facebook for Santa Blake, you'll see my Just Giving page on there. I haven't ramped it up too much for this year, but we'll it's up there, and we'll get that ramped up a little bit.
Yeah, we'll get a little bit different this year. We'll get a link put just below here for everybody that wants to give to it, and obviously charities massively important, especially this year. I know a lot of charities have really been struggling, haven't they? So it's something that we should at least stick our hand in our pocket and give a little bit if we can.
And that's all to it. It's expensive as it is. But every time somebody gives, I always think that that's amazing, because it's already it's an expensive time of the year, and but anything we can give to help others that can't.
Yeah, that's excellent. Yeah, and you also went to a lot of hospitals as well, didn't you, last year?
I've done in the past couple of years. We do a couple, again, with the Yorkshire Children's Trust, with their sponsorship. We've been able to visit hospitals, do a little grotto on the children's ward, visit the kids in the rooms that can't come out of their rooms. This year I won't be able to do that because of the pandemic. But at least one of the hospitals so far has set up a virtual visit for me. So I'll be sitting here, at the North Pole, and they'll be taking an iPad around to the rooms, doing all the sanitation as they come in and out of different rooms, and it'll depend on the time how many kids are there. But nobody wants to be in a hospital over Christmas. No. So a short visit from Santa Claus on video isn't the best of the best possibility, but it's something. So, and that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, if there's anything that's going to put a smile on a kid's face this time of year, it's going to be a message from Santa, isn't it? I mean, he's the main guy, isn't he? He's the dude.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure you'll put a lot of smiles on people's faces. I don't know if you'll be able to see it if it's virtual or not, whether they're going to have a two-way video. But, I would like to thank you for everything you do. I know it's amazing. I'm sure everybody watching probably feels exactly the same way. It's a very selfless thing that you're doing. And
I get a lot of great feedback, and I appreciate that. It's nice to have. And so, I do appreciate all the good, positive feedback that I get.
Yeah, great. Well, like I say, anyone who's watching, if they want to follow Blake, you're on Facebook, aren't you? We've got the Just Giving page as well for Blake. And I'll also link a couple of other charities. I know away from Santa Blake as well, you also do a lot for Shout charity, don't you?
Right. So I guess Shout isn't so much a charity, but a service.
Yeah.
So as you will know, one of the issues that's very close to the heart of the bearded community is mental health.
Yes.
And some of the people watching may remember one of our brothers, Darren Jones. So unfortunately, Darren had struggled mightily with his own mental health, and last year took his own life.
Yeah.
I got to meet Darren a couple times. I wouldn't say that we were great friends, but we certainly knew who each other were, and we'd exchanged some stuff on social media, and I met him at a few competitions. But his death really, it affected me more than I thought that it would, for not being somebody that I was so close with. And so after that, I needed to do something for myself. And I needed to find a way to kind of give back something to the community as a whole, not just the bearded community, but anybody struggling with mental health. So I stumbled across this service called Shout, and right now I think that they call themselves Shout 85258. Shout is a 24/7 free and confidential texting service that people can text in 24/7 anytime they're struggling to cope with any issue. There's nothing that's too large or too small. And there's a person on the end of the line, a trained volunteer we go through 6 weeks of training to lead that person, firstly to safety if their life's in danger, and to calm. And we get people that are suicidal that text in, all the way to people that are just kind of suffering with anxiety, especially current situation with the COVID and the pandemic. Lots of anxiety, lots of mental health anxiety over that, and depression, substance abuse, gender and sexuality issues, anything that kind of affects mental health, from kids that are very young to people that are very old. This service is available for. So it's not an easy thing to do, and it can be quite daunting sometimes to take on some of these conversations. But again, it just really gives me a good sense that I can get in there, and if I can help one person, that's all that matters. So it's totally volunteer, and if anybody's interested in doing anything like that, we the Shout number just recently has been tweeted out and shared on some influencers on Instagram, and I think the other day that it reached like 3 million people in the UK. Wow. So our lines are super busy right now, and there's a long wait sometimes in the evening. So if there are people that want to volunteer, like I said, it's not for everybody, and there's some training involved, but if you're interested in the service, please reach out, and I'll tell you what it's all about.
Yeah, excellent. So it's a text service, so that the person would text you, and then you would text them back or call them back, or?
No, it's just texting. So I work on a platform straight from my own home. So I sit in front of the same computer I'm sitting in front of right now. The text comes to me on their own platform, and I'm typing back to them. So sometimes it's really easy. So we talk about mental health, and some of the things that you're looking for. It's difficult for a lot of people to vocalize when they're struggling with their mental health. Yeah. They might find it just difficult to talk. They might find it embarrassing. Where there's this stigma attached to men for so long about the whole man up or suck it up. You'll just get over it type of attitude. Yeah. I think a lot of that's going away, but it still exists.
Yes.
Some teenagers obviously struggle talking to their parents. Maybe are embarrassed to talk to friends about different issues. So sometimes it's just the ability that texting in, where you don't have to, you could be in the same room sitting with your parents and still texting in, talking to someone about some issues that you're having personally. So a lot of people find it easier to text in than to actually call a service. Now,
Yeah.
those call-in services are great and they exist, and there's many of them out there. And Shout is by far not the only one of these charities out there, but I believe it's the only one that I know of that offers a texting service.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen another one that I can think of that's just a text service. So that's great, because I know it's obviously a lot easier to send a text than it is to make a phone call a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And in terms of mental health, I mean, I read something the other day which somebody put, and they said trying to explain mental health to someone who's never had it is like trying to explain the color red to someone who's never seen.
It's a good, that's a good way to put it.
It was something that hit me, and I thought, wow, okay, that's pretty powerful. So that's fantastic what you do. And what sort of hours do they open for that?
They're open 24/7.
Wow, brilliant.
So I get on a schedule, and you're, like I said, it's volunteer work, so you can work anytime. During the first lockdown, when I wasn't working, I was working like the midnight to 2 or 2 to 4 in the morning, which is going to be your busiest times, because you have a lot of people that are struggling, and maybe had a drink, and it just exacerbates everything at that time of the morning. So but the service itself is 24/7, and there's always always volunteers on there waiting to help anybody who needs it. And like I said, it could be is the smallest issue to the largest issue.
Yeah, and that's run on donations, I presume.
No, everything is free.
Yeah, I mean, how do they run the business though? It's
a corporately owned business itself. They don't take donations.
Oh, okay.
Well, they may take corporate donations. I'm not sure. But this is just a mental health service that provides the Shout 85258 free to anybody who wants to text it.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, as I said, with Santa Blake, that's fantastic what you do, and again, applause to doing that off of your own back, on the back of what happened to Darren. I never met Darren, but I did see him. It was ironic. The first event that I actually went to in Coventry, he came about halfway through the day, I think, with his little dog. But I never got a chance to speak to him, because as it was my first event, you can imagine there's so many people in the room that you get around and speak to, and all of a sudden the day flies by. But I remember he was actually competing in my category. I think it was the 8-inch and under category. Yeah. And I was sat there, and I said to Simon Sheffield, I said, who won the under 8-inch? Because I was sat outside talking to people, so busy. You know what I'm like, I'm a talker. Once I get started, you can't stop me. And he said, oh, Darren won over there. I looked at Darren's beard, and I was like, damn, for a start, is that under 8-inch? Because that looks enormous, that beard. He had a fantastic beard. It was an absolute world beater of a beard. He was like, yeah, all measured up. I thought,
yeah,
really got no chance.
Luckily, I was never in his category. I'm in the category just after that. So
well, it seriously made me consider trimming to the next category down. It was something absolutely amazing. But that will bring me on to obviously you are part of the Opie's ambassador group as well.
I am.
What made you decide to come with us and be an ambassador for Opie's?
I had never really considered being an ambassador. And so when I said, in 2014, when I went to Scarborough, I don't even think that I knew beard products existed. And as probably most people find out, I got my first beard oil off of Amazon. Everybody gets everything off of Amazon. I didn't know that UK specific, small batch stuff even existed. Yeah. So once you do that, and you go to a couple of these competitions, and you see the vendors there, and of course I would have seen you at one of the first competitions. You go, okay, well, I'll try this stuff, and And so you go around and you try different things. So for several years, I dabble here and I dabble there. Now, what I'll say about beer products is that there are some great quality products out there. Opie's does not have a corner on the market of, of good, great beer products. And you'll be the first to admit that. There's some great stuff out there.
Yeah.
So, but I have to say, I tried Opie's. I loved it. I love the scents. I think beer products are a personal choice to everybody.
Yeah.
If somebody said that their favorite product was Mariner Jack or Urban Gent or whatever it is, I'm not going to disagree with them because those are really good products.
Yeah.
You just got to find something that's personal to you and that you like the quality, the scents. So that's number one. And then for me, just to maybe embarrass you a little bit, I was drawn to Opie's because of you. You and I met and we kind of formed a friendship, and I was kind of drawn to the charitable side of Opie's, that you're a family man and you have the same kind of family values that I have. And that's not to say that the owners of these other companies don't have those same values, but you and I just kind of clicked, and I thought it was just a good friendship, and we had a lot of the same life values, so it just seemed like a natural fit. So and once I started using the Opie's, you can go back and forth, and I think one day I just said, you know what, this works for me, so I'm just going to keep buying Opie's products, and and from there, then you and I kind of hooked up, and said, would you like to be an ambassador? And more than happy to do that, and tell people and all about the Opie's product, because I think you got a great business ethos and a good business model, and you're doing really well, and you put out quality products.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we will be continuing doing extra charity work next year. It's kind of put on the back burner this year just because of everything going on. It was kind of a lot of our plans for this year got cancelled. But hopefully as soon as everything COVID-wise gets sorted, we can continue exactly down the same track we were going on, even bigger, because we'll have a bigger following then. So raise even more money, hopefully, for some charities. So, that's awesome. I remember the first time. Was it the first time I met you was in Oxford? It would have been Oxford, wouldn't it?
And it was it was my first Oxford event. Was it?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, because you were dressed in a. I don't want to embarrass you too much, but you were dressed in a all-American. What would you call it?
Was that would have been my second Oxford one? Was that the first time we met?
That was the first Oxford one I went to. Yeah.
No, well, I would definitely have. I was at Coventry. Was Coventry before that?
It was. Yeah, it was before that. I don't know. Did I get a chance to speak to you at Coventry?
It might have been at Oxford as well. But yes, you don't have to embarrass me. There's some pictures floating around with me in that Western tights, and I came full American Beardo was my my wrestling name. I had a neighbor friend of mine made me a jacket with American Beardo logo, and I had the red, white, and blue stripes. And
that's it.
Matt Wall was dressed up in all the British stuff, and we have a nice some good photos of Matt and I staring each other down.
Yeah, I remember. Did you arrange that with Matt, or was that just something on the day when you turned up and they were like, "Damn, you're wearing the same thing as me, just with a different"?
No, that wasn't set up at all. We saw each other, and we just kind of gravitated to each other and kind of fed off each other's energy the entire night as this wrestling rivalry.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Oxford is great. Oxford is all the beard competitions are amazing.
Yeah.
But what Susan and Faith do down there at Oxford is something special.
Yeah, that was a fantastic event. Yeah, I remember I got told off by the wife because I think I had quite a few drinks, and I remember I was giving out stickers to everyone, and I think I gave you about 8 stickers. And the wife said to me the next day, "Do you realise how many stickers you gave Blake? Every 10 minutes you went up to him and said, 'Have you got a sticker?' And you were too nice to say yes. So I just give you
now I do remember, because you are right. That is the first time we met, and you did. Every time you gave me a sticker, I just looked at your wife and I'm like, okay. And I came home and I got Opie stickers, a lot of them upstairs still from that night. Yeah.
Well, at least you've got, if you've got any cracks in your house, at least you could like put the stickers on top of it.
Yeah.
Wow. So, yeah, I mean, is there a favorite Opie's product of yours, or is it just the whole range you like?
Well, so when I became an ambassador, I had two goals when I became an ambassador for Opie's. Number one, I wanted to try every product. So that's what I did. Is I went out and I think over a couple orders, I bought one of everything at least. And then the second was, which I haven't done yet, is to get down and see your operation and how things are made. And I know that you're working on a workshop and stuff like that. And so, I'd love to get down there and see that.
Yeah.
But I think the Greedy Man is one of my favorites. I like the Barista. I think a lot of people like the Barista.
Yeah.
And the Black Honey. Those are my three favorites. The lemon sherbet, and I know we have that out now in an oil and a balm, as well as butter. I have it in the butter, that and the Barista in the butter, and those things. I mean, that stuff is as smooth as I love the butters, and and for you guys that are watching out there that think that butters are just for putting on your beard at night, you're wrong, man, because you can put those butters on anytime, and it feels awesome. But I haven't tried the oil in the balm in that sherbet scent yet, and I don't. I'll have to try that out to see if that's too overpowering for me or not. So, yeah.
Admittedly, I don't think I've even. I don't know if I've even tried the sherbet lemon oil yet. I've made a bunch of it, but I don't know, because usually when I make products, if there's any left, I usually put it in a little bottle or a thing for myself. But obviously oil, there's never any left because I do little sample oils as well. So there's never ever any oil left. So I tend to just use butters and balms. So I've used the sherbet lemon balm a ton this week, and fantastic. Good. Yeah, the scent really comes through really well on it, as you should do, because it's no different than any of the other products really scent wise. So
I did make a note this morning when I was doing beard prep in the morning that I'm almost out of oil. I got some balms left, so you might be seeing an order from me later tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, that'd be brilliant. Yeah, well, you've got your discount code, so yeah, crack on. Do you remember what product it was that you first got from Amazon? What the name of it was, or what brand it was, or anything?
I don't remember. There was one, but I bought a small one, and I thought I liked it because it gave like a sparkle to my beard.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. Then I bought one like in bulk type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I kind of finally realized that the kind of the quality of the products, I think I had an old one in there, and I don't know that it said it on the bottle that I had because I don't have to have the box. But I think I went back and did some research, and I couldn't even pronounce the chemicals that were on the back of this thing. So
yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but it was something. Okay. I'll see if I can go back and see what it was. But I have to go back in Amazon orders about 5.
I was going to say, you haven't still got it, have you? I've still got the first beard oil I ever bought upstairs. It's empty. It's in an empty bottle. I really don't know why I've kept the bottle, but it's I guess it's just hoarder mentality or something like that. With when it comes to your products and bathroom storage, you tend to hoard a lot of stuff, don't you?
You do tend to hoard a lot of stuff, and I found myself I'd given away some stuff to some friends just because you go to competitions, and I've been lucky to win a few and place in a few, and you get goodie bags, and you're there and you buy this and you buy that and you get samples, and then before you know it, you open up your drawer and you got 50 of these things in here, and I'm like, I'm not going to use all 50 of these things, so somebody.
Yeah, in terms of the bearding product world, what's your take on that? Because as a maker, I probably have a very different take to consumers. And one thing I wanted to ask all the guests on this show are what they think of the product market in terms of just the massive array of stuff you can get, from sort of growth oils to polishers and all this sort of stuff in basically any word you can think of. You shove beard company behind it and there's going to be a company that exists with that name.
I think that there's a philosophy that applies across the board to many things in life called KISS. Keep it stupid simple. Keep it simple stupid. And I think that's what you need to do when it comes to beard care.
Yeah.
And we talk about oils and balms and butters and waxes and things like that. And if you have, I happen to put on an oil and a balm most days, but it's just, you really don't have to do a lot to take care of your beard. It's a pretty easy process. You use the oil, the oil, while it does help to soften up the beard. It really is all about the skin with the oil. The balms, it's more about a hold, and if you get a bigger beard, and it's not blowing all over in the wind and stuff like that, and a lot of conditioning to it. So when I see all these other things on the market, what was the big one last year that everybody saw? Is the beard, the brush, the straightener.
Oh, the straightener thing, yeah.
The heated brush, and everybody come on the groups and they're like, "Oh, this thing is really cool," and I never tried one, but I'm just like, you don't need that stuff. You can. It does take. When I say it's simple once you get your beard to a place that you want to get it to. Yeah, getting it there it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And I think a lot of people, as with anything in life, they come on and they see beards like yours and mine, and and Brian Mahan and Lee BMG and whomever, and they go, "Oh my God, I want a beard like that, but I want it, tomorrow." Yeah, that takes years to train your beard to do those things, or to work your mustache, to get it. And that's what for me, the beard has come pretty natural. I'm really proud, and I mess with my mustache a lot, trying to get that shape, to the mustache. And I'm not like a Dan Silky Brown where can do the big curls and stuff like that. This is what I know what I like, and this is, but it takes effort. And you don't need fancy products to do that.
Yeah. No, your mustache is awesome. I wish I could grow mine half as good as yours, but it doesn't work. This side's all right. Get a bit of length on that side, but this side just gives up the ghost about there. So it's, but I don't mind wearing mine down here. I don't think I'd have the time to keep doing it all the time. I keep eating it.
It's become habit now. I sit at my desk at work, and I'm reading a report or something, and I'm just doing this, and
I keep doing that on this side. Maybe that's why it's so much better. Maybe I'm pulling the follicle so it stretches it longer, or something like that. Brilliant. Okay. Well, I think we should wrap it up there, Blake. So thanks for coming on. And like I say, I'll put all the links for Santa Blake and everything in the section below here.
Great, I appreciate that.
And I look forward to seeing you next year. Hopefully we can get to a couple of events.
Yeah.
And
nothing on the books now that they've canceled Brawl. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't even think anything's only booked, is it? I think
nothing's booked right now that I know of.
The only one is the
other
British,
than
isn't it?
The British, yeah.
Yeah, which is August, isn't it? So it's end of August. So hopefully, touch wood, it'll be all right for then. So But anyway, thanks for coming on, and you stay safe and look after yourself.
All right, Jamie. I appreciate it, buddy.
You're welcome. Thanks very much, Blake. Cheers.